YouTube, my name is Mayo. Welcome to my channel and thank you for being here. I'm going to be discussing how the new moon in Scorpio is going to affect you according to your ascendant. This full moon is happening on the 15th or the 14th depending on your location. It's happening at 23 degrees Scorpio. And it's going to be sextile the Capricorn stellium, namely Jupiter and Pluto, who were exactly conjunct on the 12th of November at 22 degrees Capricorn. Finally, the universe is giving us a break from all those oppositions we had. This is an opportunity for you to create or initiate something brand new, which is going to be concrete and stable. It is time to begin our transformation, but with every transformation, something must die first. After all, Scorpio rules the 8th house of the zodiac. This is where we keep our secrets. This is where we have our intimate relationships. The 8th house also rules over other people's money, unearned income, like mortgages, windfalls, lottery wins, and taxes. The 8th house also rules over our secrets, things that we keep hidden from others and sometimes from ourselves. The 8th house also rules over sex and intimacy. This is the house where we merge with the other. This is where we truly bond. The new moon in Scorpio is very powerful. It is also being called a supermoon because it's very close to the Earth. The ruling planet of this lunation, Mars, just recently went direct. So he is stationary direct in his other sign, Aries, and is also very, very powerful. So this is a very potent time. This is the point when we're all going to realize and accept what we can no longer carry along with us, what has died and what we have to let go of. This is the time for you to transform and begin anew. If you're new to my channel and have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, It's right below this video, the red button. It's not a commitment. If you're new to my channel and have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, It's right below this video, the red button. It's not a commitment. If you look around outside, Scorpio season is when all the leaves die and fall off the trees. So in your life, what has died? What needs to be let go of? What are you trying to hold on to that you know for sure you cannot bring along anymore? We have to look forward to new beginnings, what can be birthed and what can be transformed. We all have to rise like the phoenix. Unfortunately, some people may not accept this new chapter of death, birth, and rebirth. Some people may choose to stay in the ashes. It's all up to you. The sextile aspect to Jupiter and Pluto is giving everyone a chance to rise. I encourage you to listen to the whole introduction. This is the only way you're truly going to apply this astrology to your own natal birth chart for it to make sense. The sign of Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. Let's look at what aspects are being formed at this lunation. Mars is ruling this event. He is the modern ruler of Scorpio. So let's look at what Mars is doing at this time. Mars is transiting his other home sign of Aries, which makes him very powerful. And he's actually much more potent at this time because he is stationary direct. When a planet is stationary direct, it's closer to the Earth and therefore it exerts its power much more intensely. Mars is stationary direct at 15 degrees of Aries. He is extra charged up. He is powerful. Mars has been frustrated and he's ready to initiate and charge forward. Remember, in my previous videos, I kept advising people not to initiate any lawsuits while Mars was retrograde. We can just simply look at what's been going on in the media to see the results of initiating a lawsuit when Mars is retrograde. The person who is the aggressor or the initiator of the aggression or the lawsuit always loses when Mars is retrograde. So take note for next time. At this point, Mars is stationary direct and very powerful. I would give him a few more days before you begin to charge forward and start initiating projects or initiating lawsuits. After a few days, Mars is going to catch his momentum. He's going to be ready and powerful to fight for your cause. Those people who were restraining themselves, that held back, that avoided conflict on all levels, this is the time for you to charge ahead. This is the time for you to initiate all those projects that you've been waiting on to go forward with. The new moon in Scorpio is an excellent time for you to initiate projects, simply because it is a new moon in the sign of Scorpio, and Mars does rule Scorpio. This is a powerful new moon that's making a very harmonious aspect to Pluto, which also rules Scorpio, and Jupiter, and they're very powerful because they're conjunct at this lunation. So let's look at this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, which happened at 22 degrees of Capricorn on the 12th of November 2020. The last time these two planets conjuncted was in 2008. This conjunction happens every 13 years. In 2008, we did have another financial crash, and we had a stimulus. Jupiter is considered the great benefic, and Pluto is considered the great transformer, and they're both conjunct in the sign of Capricorn, and this sign is ruled by Saturn, who is also transiting this sign, but currently at around 27 degrees, so he's not part of this conjunction. The first time this conjunction happened this year was in April, and they were conjunct at 25 degrees Capricorn. At that time, Jupiter and Pluto were both direct. This is the time that the virus was surging, and this is also the time the government introduced the first stimulus package. Jupiter here blessed us with a large stimulus that gave a large boost to unemployment benefits, and this greatly helped the economy. And since Jupiter expands whatever it touches, it was conjunct Pluto, which brings death and transformation. This is when cases increased, and there were a lot more deaths at this time. One could also say Pluto brings up what was hidden. This virus was hidden, and from what we've learned so far, it was also being suppressed, so there was some secrecy surrounding this virus. One can agree that this virus has transformed our way of life and has killed a lot of people. So there was a lot of death associated with this conjunction. The second time these two planets conjuncted was on 30th of June 2020. This time around, they were both retrograde. And as we can remember, this was when the second stimulus was introduced. However, this bill did not get anywhere because both planets were retrograde. That bill is still being renegotiated, retouched, redone, rebooted. This is what usually happens when you initiate a big project, when the planets that rule that project are both retrograde. The last conjunction has just happened on the 12th of November 2020. So what shall we expect from this large conjunction? As we can all see from the news, cases have surged much more than they were at the first conjunction. And obviously, this is going to lead to more deaths, unfortunately. This time, Jupiter and Pluto are both direct. Jupiter is also a healing planet, and this time it's bringing the good news of a vaccine. However, Pluto is going to continue bringing the death and transformation, and perhaps some hidden truths and secrets. Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is famously known as the Millionaires aspect. Whenever these two planets conjunct, there's usually a big financial transformation. There's usually big money spent, big government money. On a personal level, if you have this conjunction in your chart, this is called the Millionaires aspect. Most people that have this conjunction in their chart, in the financial houses, tend to do very well in their life. They're usually millionaires or billionaires. So essentially, as a transit, this conjunction could make some people very, very wealthy. It could also make some other people very lucky. Some people could get a windfall or inherit a lot of money, just depending if it's aspecting a financial planet in your chart or it is in a financial house in your chart. And for you to find out how this particular conjunction is affecting you in your chart, I suggest you get a reading at rachel-mayo.com. The new moon in Scorpio, making an exact sextile to the planets in Capricorn, namely Jupiter and Pluto, is a very harmonious aspect. This is the area where we've all been working hard and have been hit hard and are hoping for something to give. Well, at this point of the new moon, something is going to be birthed. But in order for something new to start, sometimes something has to die. We have to close one door in order to open the other door for something totally brand new to start. The Capricorn house is the area where we're going to have something begin. And it's also the area where we're going to probably have to let go of something that we thought would work out, and we have come to the realization that it's time to let it go because it's not going to work. Another aspect of this lunation, which is somewhat a negative aspect, is Venus is transiting the sign of Libra. I believe also around 22 or 23 degrees is going to be squaring Saturn at around 27 degrees. The square aspect is a difficult aspect in that it challenges us. In order for you to achieve something, sometimes you do need the challenge. However, if this aspect is happening in a marriage house or a financial house, there might be a loss of a relationship or loss of money. So things regarding those issues, relationships and money, are going to come to a head. It's time to make final decisions and final negotiations. Deals will be made, but some agreements could also be broken. For relationships, marriages and partnerships, this is when you find out if your marriage or relationship has what it takes to go the distance. However, if your chart is well aspected by this lunation, this is the time that people will decide to finally this is the time that people could finally decide to make that big step and solidify a relationship through marriage or some other type of commitment. This lunation is also trine Neptune, who is also transiting his own sign of Pisces. So perhaps the transition to our new beginnings will be somewhat peaceful and the endings not so painful. Let's just all hope for the best. If you're new to my channel and have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, It's right below this video, the red button. It's not a commitment. If you're new to my channel and have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, It's right below this video, the red button. It's not a commitment. Aries ascendant, sun or moon. This new moon is happening in your 8th house. This is where you're going to have some sort of death and transformation and a brand new beginning. If you've been involved in a relationship for a while, this might be the time that you might decide to take this relationship to a next level. And this new level in the relationship could be combining finances and moving in together. This house involves other people's money. So taking a relationship to the next level of merging finances by moving in together or some other type of commitment. For the lucky ones, since this is the house of unearned income, other people's money, taxes, windfalls, and mortgages, this is the time that you could get approved for a mortgage or a loan of some type. And because there is a sextile to the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction in your 10th house, this might elevate your status. You are one of the lucky people that could have a financial windfall. So I would try my hand at the lottery. Just don't bet the farm. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is happening in your 10th house. And this is the area of what we do for a living, our standing in society, our authority figures. For some people, this is the time that Pluto may take away a boss that you perhaps did not like. This boss may be moved to another area. And Jupiter could bless you and give you a promotion that you've probably been trying to get for the past few years. This new moon could be very positive for you, Aries, because your ruling planet, Mars, is stationary direct at this time. He's ruling this lunation and he's very powerful. Since he rules your ascendant, this has to do with you. Anything that you've been trying to initiate for the past few months and have been restraining yourself and holding back, this is the time for you to pick up and go. Mars rules your ascendant and he's ruling this lunation. So you are essentially very powerful at this lunation. So anything that you've been holding back on initiating, it's time to initiate that diet. It's time to initiate that venture. It's time to leave that job that you don't like. It's time to ask for that promotion. This is your time, Aries. Taurus ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 7th house. This is the area where you're going to have new beginnings, some endings, perhaps some death and transformation. Jupiter and Pluto are conjunct in Capricorn, your 9th house. This is the area of our belief system, higher education, religion, and foreign lands. So if you've had an ongoing legal issue, or perhaps you've been in college, this is the time that you're going to start being a student and become a graduate. That is a transformation. And Jupiter is going to give you all the accolades that you deserve. Since the 7th house is highlighted, this is the house of committed relationships, partnerships, and marriage. And the 9th house is where we legalize things. This new moon highlighting both houses in a very harmonious aspect could highlight people finally deciding to get married, legalizing their relationship through marriage. And if your chart is negatively aspected, or you're one of those couples that have been in a relationship that's been dead for a while, this is the time that the relationship is going to finally break. This might be the time when you decide to file for a divorce. So essentially, there would be a culmination, a legal culmination in a marriage that was not essentially working, a relationship that had died a long time ago. And on the flip side, this would be a transformation of a relationship legally into a marriage. The ruling planet of this lunation is Mars. Mars is transiting his home sign of Aries and he's stationary direct at this time. He's transiting your 12th house. Mars in the 12th house is not a happy placement. So you are probably holding on to a lot of anger and unexpressed emotions. So at this time, you're going to let it rip. It is time for you to find a workable plan for you to release this pent-up energy. The best time for you to really let it rip would be when Mars is transiting your own sign, which is going to happen sometime in January. However, your ruling planet Venus is very powerful. She's transiting her other sign of Libra. Unfortunately, she's in a square aspect to Saturn, who is transiting your 9th house. Venus squaring Saturn is a challenging aspect. You definitely have some legal issues to iron out or some relationship issues. This is a point of culmination for you, Taurus, in so many areas. There is definitely going to be something that you have to let go of, but fortunately, there is also going to be a very powerful brand new beginning. Gemini ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 6th house. This is the area where you're going to have some type of brand new beginning, and there will be some type of death and transformation. The 6th house rules over our daily routine, our work, exercise, health, and diet. It also rules over our known enemies. So you are going to have a very powerful new beginning and transformation in this area. It's possible that you start a new job, a new diet, or if you've been ill, this is the time that you could start a brand new medication. A relationship with a co-worker or a boss could also go in a new direction. Jupiter and Pluto are conjunct in your 11th house and a sextile this new moon. Your 11th house has to do with your friends, the groups that you belong to, the internet, your hopes, dreams, and wishes. This could be a time of culmination for some Geminis. This could be a time when you could realize one of your hopes, dreams, and wishes. On the other hand, it could be time for you to finally accept and realize that it's time to move on from something that you've hoped and wished would come true. Unfortunately, some people may decide to leave a group that they belong to or end a relationship with a friend at this time. Perhaps some secrets will be uncovered regarding that group or friendship. Jupiter, the great benefic, could definitely bring some sort of culmination and accomplishment. Something that you've dreamed of accomplishing for a long time could finally come true. Some people may begin a very beneficial friendship or some will be accepted into a group that they've been trying to get into for a long time. This group or friendship is going to transform your life. Cancer ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 5th house. This is the area where you're going to have a new beginning, perhaps a death and transformation. The 5th house rules over our creative ability. This is the house of our joy. It rules over what we do for fun. It rules our hobbies. It rules over our romantic relationships and our children. So perhaps you will have a transformative new beginning with your children, or a romantic relationship could get serious at this time. For others who've been trying to start a creative project, this will be a perfect time for you to initiate this project or start your own business. Jupiter and Pluto are conjunct in Capricorn, your 7th house. This is the area where you might have to finally let go of something that has not been working for you for a while. And this is also the area where you will have, some type of achievement and accomplishment in a relationship or a marriage. Your 5th house and your 7th house are highlighted. The aspect between them is a sextile, which is a very supportive and harmonious aspect. Some people could finally decide to take a romantic relationship to the next level. So perhaps a new beginning in the 5th house is a pregnancy. And as a result of this, you may decide to elevate your relationship to marriage. So hence, the casual relationship is going to die off, and there will be a new beginning in the relationship. The transformation will be marriage. This is one of the happy ways this new beginning could go for you. On the other hand, if you've been trying to start a new business, which is a 5th house venture, you could be lucky enough to find a partner who's also interested in starting a similar business, and you could merge that way and form a corporation, and there's your brand new business. Mars is currently transiting Aries, his own sign. He is finally direct. He's stationary direct at this time, making him very powerful. The 10th house rules over our standing in society, authority figures, and what we do for work. So if you've been trying to make some aggressive changes at your place of work, or some changes with your standing in society, perhaps you've been seeking a promotion, this is definitely the time that you should go for it and ask for a promotion. On the other hand, if you've been trying to leave your job, this would be a perfect opportunity for you to make that move. Leo ascendant, sun or moon. This new moon is happening in your 4th house. This is where there will be a death and transformation and a brand new beginning. The 4th house rules over our deep emotions. It rules over our home, our family, and especially the mother or whichever parent was the mother figure. If you have an aging parent who has been ill, or a family member that has been ill, unfortunately, this might be a time of culmination for them. If you've had ongoing issues, perhaps arguments with family members, this is the time that there will be a new beginning in that area. A new moon in the 4th house can also signal a move. If you've been trying to move or been wanting to move, this is the time perhaps this is going to happen, making it a transformation. This would be the death of the old residence and a transformation to a new home and address, hence a new beginning. Jupiter and Pluto are conjunct in your 6th house. This is the area of our daily routine, our health, diet, and exercise. It also rules over what we do for work and our open and our known enemies. The new moon sextiling this conjunction is going to help you make whatever transformations or changes that you need to make in your 4th house area. These changes could very likely improve your health and your daily routine. In other situations, you could have had an ongoing dispute with a co-worker. This is the time that this relationship or this dispute is going to be transformed, or is going to come to an ending or a resolution. Jupiter in the 6th house is going to bring you some type of blessing, either in form of healing of an ongoing chronic disease, a new job perhaps, a new relationship, better understanding with your co-workers, or a new daily routine. Mars is going to be moving direct in your 9th house. Mars is powerful in his home sign. This area rules over the justice system, higher education, our higher belief system, the legal system. If you've been holding back in this area, this is time for you to initiate. It's very likely that you're successful this time. Virgo ascendant, sun or moon. The new moon is in your 3rd house. This is the area where you're going to have some sort of death and transformation and a brand new beginning. The 3rd house rules over our immediate environment, our siblings, communication, our devices, and our transportation. So you could have a new beginning and transformation in any of these areas. Perhaps a communication device like a phone or a computer could die on you at this time, and you have to buy a brand new device. It could also be that your car dies on you at this time, and you have to purchase a brand new car. Jupiter and Pluto are conjunct in the sign of Capricorn, which is your 5th house. This is the area that you're going to have some sort of blessing from Jupiter, and perhaps you might have to let go of something in this area. The 5th house rules over our creativity, our children, our talent, and our romantic relationships. The Jupiter and Pluto conjunction in this house is going to bring about a transformation. Jupiter will bring you a blessing. If you've been working on a creative project for a very long time and have not met any success, this is finally the time that you may realize this success. And for people who've been trying to conceive and have been unable to, this is definitely the time that you will be able to conceive. So if you're not trying to have children, be very careful and use protection. Pluto, on the other hand, is going to bring about some sort of death and transformation. Perhaps it's going to be in something that you've been trying very hard to work on and you have not been able to achieve any success. Perhaps it's time to let go of that ambition and concentrate on the blessings that Jupiter is affording you in this house. This, the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, is, after all, the Millionaires aspect. Virgo rising is one of those signs that could be very lucky and win big at this time. So I would encourage you to go and buy a lottery ticket here. Also, I would encourage you to buy a couple of lottery tickets. Just don't go and bet the farm. This aspect is also strengthened because the ruling planet of this lunation is Mars. Mars is transiting his own sign of Aries in your 8th house of other people's money. Other people's money, like windfalls, inheritances, lottery wins, and perhaps a very big tax return. It all depends on what's going on in your natal birth chart. So this lunation is a very lucky lunation for you. You should go and try your hand at the casino or with the lottery. If you've been holding back on trying to get a loan or a mortgage or access to other people's money, with Mars moving direct in the 8th house, this is the powerful time for you to try and initiate the process of getting a mortgage or whatever loan that you're trying to get. It is also time for you to initiate a deep, intimate relationship. This is a positive lunation for you, Virgo. Take full advantage of every positive aspect. Libra ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 2nd house. This is the area where you're going to have some type of death and transformation and a brand new beginning. The 2nd house is the area of what we do to earn a living, our earned income. It is also the house of our self-esteem. It is also the house that rules over what we love and value, and our family, the family that we create with another, perhaps through marriage, or the friends that we get so close to that we call them family. So you could have a transformation in any of these areas. There will be a brand new beginning. Perhaps you will find a new way of making money and therefore transforming your finances. You could also have a new beginning in your family. Perhaps you will formalize an ongoing relationship and move in together or get married. The merging of this new partnership could bring you extra finances, therefore transforming your financial standing. Jupiter and Pluto are conjunct in your 4th house. This is the area where you perhaps have been working very hard to achieve something, maybe with your family, your mother, or in your home. Perhaps you've been trying to renovate and transform your home. This is the time you'll probably finish that project. For those that have been trying to expand their living space, this is the time that they could actually buy a new home. Jupiter transiting the 4th house can expand our family. So perhaps you will have some new family members either through birth or marriage. If you have aging parents that have been ill for a while, unfortunately, Pluto transiting the 4th house has the tendency to bring culminations and endings in this area. Mars is currently transiting Aries, his own sign. Mars is stationary direct on your descendant. If your partner has been hot-headed and arguing with you for the past 2 months, Mars transiting the descendant has a tendency of bringing arguments in the relationship. So if you've been holding back from arguing with your partner because your partner has actually been much more powerful, your partner is only going to get strengthened at this time. So I would wait until Mars moves away from the descendant before you start initiating any arguments. However, at this time, since Mars is moving direct, if the arguments are unbearable and they've been going on for a long time, this would be a safe time for you to initiate a divorce. You have a better chance of getting a favorable result at this time. So your 2nd house of self-worth is highlighted. There's a new beginning there. Your 4th house of your deep emotions, home and family is also highlighted and is in sextile with this lunation. So whatever endings or transformations that are going to happen in these 2 areas are going to be easily workable because this is a harmonious aspect. Venus, your ruling planet, is currently transiting your sign at this time. This makes you very attractive to others and favorable at this time. So maybe you have a standing leg against your partner because you're empowered by your own planet in his own sign. However, Venus is in square aspect to Saturn, this is a challenging aspect and may bring relationships, agreements, and partnerships to a culmination. It's time to make a decision. It's time to complete negotiations. Your ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 1st house. This is the area where you're going to have some sort of death and transformation and a brand new beginning. Your ruling planet Mars is the ruler of this lunation. Mars is transiting his other home sign of Aries. He is currently stationary direct. This is going to make this lunation very powerful and positive for you, Scorpio. The 1st house is the ascendant. This has to do with you, your body, your self-image, or how you're seen by others. The 6th house is where your ruling planet Mars is currently transiting and is very powerful there. If you've had an ongoing issue or conflict at work or with a co-worker and you've been restraining yourself and holding back, this is the time for you to accept this conflict and challenge. For some, this could be the best time. For some, this is an ideal time for you to start a lawsuit if this conflict requires legal action. Initiating legal action at this time when your ruling planet is moving forward high and is very powerful in the 6th house where he is ready to fight and represent you is the best time to do so. If you've been dealing with some type of illness or inflammation due to Mars's transit in the 6th house, this is the time that you're going to find some type of treatment or relief from this illness. If you've had any type of conflicts with co-workers and you've been holding yourself back, this is the time that you might not be able to hold yourself back anymore. This is the time that you meet this conflict head on. Jupiter and Pluto are conjunct in Capricorn, your 3rd house. If you've been learning a new skill, this is the time that you're going to come to some kind of culmination. Perhaps you're going to finish this training. If you've been writing a book or doing some kind of investigation, this is also a time that you're going to have a culmination in this area. Unfortunately for some people, if a sibling or a neighbor has been ill, this is also a time of some type of culmination for them. It could be a positive culmination or a negative culmination. It all just depends how this conjunction aspects your other planets in your chart. So you have your ascendant highlighted, that's you, and you have your third house highlighted, that's the effort that you make, and you also have your sixth house highlighted. That is what you do every day. So you can tie in all these houses and see how they can help or negate each other. I think this is a very positive lunation for you, Scorpio. This is a time for you to let go of whatever has not been working in any area in your life. This is the time to make strong initiations. If you've been trying to find employment, this will be a perfect time for you to go for it. It's very likely that you will find new employment. You've probably been in the background training and learning a new skill. This is the time that you can use what you've been learning and training for to help you find new employment. Your ruling planet Mars is ruling this lunation and is very, very powerful at this time as his stationary direct. Your other ruling planet Pluto is also part of this lunation and forming a harmonious aspect, a sextile to this lunation. You have everything at your disposal to take anything that you need to in any direction in your life at this time. The universe is favoring you, Scorpio. It's up to you to discern. Use this energy to let go of what's not been working. Sagittarius, ascendant, sun, or moon. This lunation is happening in your 12th house. This is the area where there will be some sort of death and transformation and a new beginning. The 12th house rules over our subconscious, our self-sabotaging habits, our past karma, and foreign lands. A new moon in the 12th house, especially in the house of Scorpio, is very powerful. It's going to highlight all these areas. Since the 12th house also rules over our hidden enemies, your hidden enemies could be brought out at this time. Or perhaps you could have a new beginning of compromise after this hidden enemy has shown themselves. Some people could decide to go on a long journey, while others could find healing through spirituality, meditation, or therapy at this time. Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is in Capricorn, your second house. The second house rules over how we earn a living, our earned income. It rules over our self-esteem. It rules over what we love and value, like our family, the family that we create with a partner, or friends that we call family. This is the area where you're going to have some sort of death or transformation. Sagittarius, you are one of the signs that could have a lucky windfall. Sagittarius, the second house is a financial house. Perhaps this lunation will bring you a new job, or you could get a new gig that brings you a lot of money. Or perhaps you could be lucky and win some money with the lottery. Especially since your ruling planet Jupiter is transiting your second house. Jupiter in the second house is known to bring financial blessings, and he's conjuncting Pluto. This conjunction is known to bring some type of windfall or some type of large earnings or big money. Mars is the ruling planet of this lunation. He's currently transiting Aries and he's stationary direct in your 5th house. The 5th house rules over our creative ability, our talents, our children. It is also the house of our romantic relationships, and most of all, it's the house of luck. So this combination of the 2nd house, which is a money house, being highlighted, and the 5th house, which is the house of luck and gambling, also being highlighted. I would say Sagittarius is one of the signs that could possibly have a big win with the lottery or some type of windfall at this time. Go and try your luck. Just don't bet the farm. Capricorn, ascendant, sun, or moon. The new moon is happening in your 11th house, area where there will be a death and transformation and a new beginning. The 11th house has to do with our groups, our friends, our hopes, dreams, and ambitions. So perhaps there will be a new beginning in the groups. So perhaps you will have a new beginning with a group or a friendship. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is in your sign, Capricorn. So this makes you very powerful. This is the area where Jupiter is going to bring you some type of blessing. And this blessing could be in any area of your life. and expand something that you've been working on, something that's very personal and meaningful to you. On the other hand, Pluto could ask you to let go and transform something that you've been working on the past few years. This new moon is making a harmonious aspect to your ascendant. The aspect is called a sextile. So if you apply effort to achieve your hopes, dreams, and wishes, it's very likely that you achieve those with the help of this sextile and make this new beginning in your 11th house very successful. Mars is moving stationary direct in Aries in your 4th house. Mars here has been causing a lot of problems and arguments and conflicts. If you've been trying to start something or move something along or end a conflict in your 4th house, this would be an ideal time to do so. Mars in the 4th house also tends to bring a lot of action in the 4th house. So if you've had renovations going on if you've had renovations the past few months in your home area, this is the time that you'll finalize these renovations. On the other hand, if you've been trying to move homes, this is the time that you're finally going to make this move. Your ruling planet Saturn is transiting Capricorn, his own sign, and is in square aspect to Venus, who is also transiting her own sign, Libra. The square aspect is a challenging aspect. If you've had ongoing challenges in your work area, this is the time that they're going to reach a culmination. This is the time something is going to end or be taken to the next level. Or it could be time for you to cut loose and go in a different direction. Aquarius, ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 10th house. This is where you're going to have some type of death and transformation and a brand new beginning. The 10th house rules over our work, our standing in society, our authority figures, the government, just to name a few. It's very likely that you start a new job at this time. Other people could have a new boss. Other people could have a transformation or new relationship with an authority figure or with a boss at this time. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is in your 12th house. This is the area where you will have some type of blessing and a deep transformation. The 12th house is the area of our hidden enemies, foreign lands, far off foreign lands, our subconscious, our self-sabotaging habits, and our past karma. Jupiter transiting the 12th house is known to bring some type of protection. So if you have an ongoing conflict with a hidden enemy or a hidden issue, Jupiter is going to bring healing to this situation and end this conflict. There will be a transformation. Perhaps you will make a hidden enemy become a friend, and that's the transformation, an enemy to a friendship. Or perhaps you will find healing, or perhaps you could get healing through spirituality, meditation, or some type of therapy at this time. Mars is transiting his own sign of Aries and is moving stationary direct in your 3rd house. If you've been wanting to initiate action, perhaps you've been wanting to learn some type of skill, this would be the perfect time for you to initiate this study. If you've been having an ongoing conflict with your neighbor and you've been holding back, this is the time to accept this challenge and tell this neighbor or sibling exactly what you think. This time Mars is moving direct, so this makes you quite powerful in this area. Your ruling planet Saturn is transiting his other sign of Capricorn and is involved in a square aspect to Venus at this time. So if you have some relationship issues that have been ongoing, or some money issues that have been ongoing, conflicts in this area, this is time for you to negotiate and end this ongoing conflict. To sum it all up, there is a new beginning in the 10th house. This could be a new job, a new standing in society. You have a transformation going on in your 12th house. This could be healing or some other type of transformation with your hidden enemies and hidden issues. You have your you have the 3rd house being highlighted. It's time for you to initiate on things that you've been holding back on. If you've been restraining yourself and holding your tongue, this is the time to let it rip. Go for it. Pisces, ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 9th house. This is the area where there will be a death and transformation and a brand new beginning. The ninth house rules over foreign lands, foreign people, our higher education, our justice system, and it also rules over our belief system. So if you've been trying to initiate anything in a foreign land, or perhaps you wanted to travel to a foreign land, this is time for you to initiate the paperwork. If you are living in a foreign land, this could be the perfect time for you to transform your status in that country to citizenship by initiating the paperwork towards your path to citizenship. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn is in your 11th house. This is a very powerful house for Pluto and Jupiter to be transit. Jupiter is going to bring you blessings here. If you've been trying to get into a group or organization, this is the time that you will be able to achieve this ambition. Jupiter could also bless you with friendships that are very beneficial. If you've been trying to start something with an elder sibling, this is also the time that you could realize that dream. Perhaps you have to let go of some friendships that have not been working out over the last couple of years. And perhaps you will realize that you have to let go of some of your dreams and wishes. This new moon is in sextile with your 11th house. So it's going to make whatever you begin in the 9th house, your legal house, your higher aspiration house, it's going to make this transition very smooth. Mars is currently transiting Aries. He is stationary direct in your 2nd house. Mars is very powerful at this time. So if you've been trying to start a new job, perhaps initiate another way of earning a living, Mars is going to be very helpful and will find you a new job at this time. If you've been holding out on making a big purchase, this is the perfect time for you to go ahead and do so. It's also a great time for you to make that investment. It's also a great time for you to make financial investments that are going to bring you large returns in the long run. Your ruling planet Neptune is currently transiting your sign. This makes you very powerful. It's forming a sextile aspect to your other ruling planet Jupiter, who is currently transiting the sign of Capricorn and is also conjunct Jupiter at this time, and is also conjunct Pluto at this time. This is a very, very powerful aspect. This is a very powerful aspect that gives you the power to make some of your dreams come true. So just to sum it up, you have a new moon in the 9th house. It is a Jupiterian house, a lucky house. And then you have the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction in your 11th house of your hopes, dreams, and wishes. And you have your ruling planet, Neptune, sextiling this conjunction, and you have your ruling planet Neptune sextiling this conjunction, Jupiter and Pluto. This lunation is a very good and lucky one for you. This is powerful and positive energy to make strong transformations in these houses. Let go of things that you've been working on and you know that they're not going to go anywhere. This is the time for you to let them die so that the new blessings can come in.